Good morning. Welcome to Global Television Network's Capital Forum. This morning, we are extremely privileged and honored to have an individual who really does not need any introduction whatsoever. He's a man with multi-dimensional achievement, extroverted personality. He's a generous, kind, a philanthropist, an entrepreneur, a thought leader, an author of 2 important books, an eloquent speaker, and a decent human being who always tries to help people with his generosity. His name is Dr. Frank Islam. He has been honored with so many awards, accolades from across the globe. It is my privilege and honor to interview him, how he has accomplished so much in this short period of time. Dr. Islam, recently you were in Missouri, invited by the well-known journalistic association to be there for a week. Could you tell our viewers exactly what was the purpose of your visit to Missouri?
So we went to Missouri School of Journalism, my wife Debbie and I, and stayed there for 5 days. And as you all know, the Missouri School of Journalism is one of the best schools in the world. And the purpose of our trip to get to know them a little bit more. And I mentioned to you when I gave that speech at the National Press Club, where you were there, Dr. Banik, that we funded a scholarship, our fellowship program for Indian journalists to come to America and get a training for 6 months at the School of Journalism, and the program is known as AFPP, Alfred Friendly Press Partners, and they not only bring the people from India and South Asia, which is Pakistan and other countries, but also all over the world. As you know, the ceremony that you and I attended were people from all over the globe. And the reason that we funded this thing, this scholarship program, because we believe in freedom of press. Freedom of press is the cornerstone of American democracy. It is enriched in our Constitution, and it is the America's check and balance of the systems of America, and we should celebrate it, and freedom of press not to bury it. So that was the purpose of my trip and after my engagement from Missouri School of Journalism, I went to some other part of the Missouri, also visited that. But one of the things that was something that really I felt strongly good about it, that I had a privilege to participate in a discussion with a lot of students at several occasions, at several classes. And I tell you, in Missouri, School of Journalism, so there were 4 classes that I attended, and they turned around and asked me the questions, why do you support this thing? And also they asked about my journey in entrepreneurship. They also asked me what made me successful. But I have to say, Dr. Banik, they were young, they were vibrant, they were engaged, they were involved, they knew their questions, and they are the hope of tomorrow, these young journalists. So I was really pleased to be there, and I will continue to fund this program for the next year as well, which is the 2018, and there are some candidates that they have it, and hopefully they will select one, and then we will be able to get the people from India to come to America to learn about journalism. One of the girl that we elected, I would say selected the right word, Smita Rajan. She's a fearless fighter, and she works for DNA. And one of the things she learned with my conversation to her at the National Press Club is about, fact-checking.
Fact-checking.
And she learned that at Politico when she was there, and she will take it back to India and do the same thing for the newspaper, for the DNA. So hopefully we have contributed and made a difference in a meaningful way for two democracy, which is India and the United States, India being the largest democracy and the United States being the oldest democracy. These are the values that binds us together. Hopefully she will learn a lot, and she will go back and do some of those things, and that will make India is a great democracy. It will also make India to flourish the democracy, and that's an important part of that engagement was.
Dr. Islam, I want to compliment you. I have read that eloquent speech of yours at the National Press Club, which was widely covered in Huffington Post, Times of India, and other journalists complimented you for coming out and challenge the fake news and tell how this freedom of press is so vital for the survival of our nation and the democracy. So I want to compliment you.
Well, thank you very much. To me, the job of the journalist is to separate the facts from the fiction, and there are a lot of people who talk about the fake medias and so on and so forth. This is an attack on the media. They're doing their job, and they're exposing the story that they need to be exposed. So I was glad that we were there, and I'm glad you came and participated there, so thank you for your kind words.
Well, I had the honor and privilege of spending 1 week with you. During the time I attended the National Press Club's Alfred Friendly's Press Partnership Program. Next, you had been a keynote speaker at the bicentennial celebration of one of the iconic founder of Aligarh Muslim University, Sir Syed, followed by your keynote speech at the DC Film Festival, South Asian Film Festival. Then your meeting with the President Donald Trump and his wife Melania Trump in the White House, followed by your keynote speech at NCAIA Independence Day program. Within 10 days' time, I have been with you on 5 different occasions, and I have seen how you have such a depth of knowledge in various fields. I want to suggest to you that you should write a book about your experiences, what you have gathered so far, that will benefit our generation yet to come.
Well, I have written 2 books, and both books are not focused on me personally. Both books focus on America, and it's called Pivot Points. The second book, the first one, Renewing the American Dream, and how do we make America competitive in the global market. I think your ideas are well taken, and that's something I think we should do that. If anything that I can do to make a difference, and also to make sure the younger generation can look at people like you and me as a model, so that they can do their best, and they could also help other people to succeed. That will be something that I think we will leave behind as a legacy. So it's a wonderful. It will be great to have that, and I will consider that. And so maybe you will have somebody who can help me to write that.
Maybe I can do that.
To talk a little bit about 3 things that you just mentioned to me about my speech at the Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, who was the founder, and then the DC South Asian Film Festival, and then the US-India NCAIA, where you're the chairman. So Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was the founder of the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, and the purpose of founding this college, which later became a university in 1920, known as Aligarh Muslim University, was to enable and empower not only just Indian Muslims, but Indian Muslims and Hindus and everyone by education, because he believed that education empowers the mind and uplifts the soul. He also believed that the education is the gift that keeps on giving, and education is a powerful equalizer to get people out of the poverty. And also, as you all know, Aligarh Muslim University, to me, what's best in me is because of Aligarh Muslim University. I have been enabled, enriched, and empowered by Aligarh Muslim University. And Aligarh Muslim University shaped my history and determined my destiny. Its principles have always guided me throughout my life, whether the time is calm or the crisis. Aligarh shaped India, India shaped Aligarh. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you, it was the 200 celebrations about communal peace and harmony. The first graduate of Aligarh Muslim University was not a Muslim, was a Hindu. And he said, Hindu and Muslims alike has to work towards a shared goals and with a shared responsibility and shared sacrifices. And that's what he said. And I believe in it. We are in this together. If we are together, we can build a better future, not only for America, but for India as well. I'm a very strong believer in the inclusive India and inclusive America. Now, the next one, as you know, Zinat Aman, and who was the chief guest, I guess, for the South Asia Film Festival. I have to compliment Manoj and Geeta. They have done a great job to bring not the Bollywood movie that we all know, independent movies, and give them the opportunity and the platform. As you all know, my foundation focuses on three things, as a matter of fact. The first one, education, as we talked about Aligarh Muslim University, where we have given $2 million to build Frank and Devi Islamic School of Management, because that's important to us, and I can talk to you if you're interested. The second thing,
please.
I will do that in a minute. The second thing, Dr. Banik, is art. Art, as President Kennedy said, nourishes the roots of our culture. Art engages us. Art transcends our boundary, and it has a healing power, as I believe, and art represents the best of our humanity. And as Robert Frost once said, when President Kennedy introduced him, that the power corrupts and poetry cleanses. Very well, no, cleanses, excuse me, and very well said. So I'm a strong believer of art, and we have given close to $1 million to Kennedy Centers on this thing. And education we talked about. The third area that we focus on.
You are a board of trustees there.
I am. I'm fortunate enough to be appointed by President Obama to be the board of the trustee of the Kennedy Centers. Third things that my foundation focuses on, conflict resolution. And as a result of that, we are very much active at U.S. Institute of Peace. We have given also significant donations, about $1 million, to U.S. Institute of Peace because of conflict resolution and also promoting the peace globally. So, and then I was your guest, and thank you for inviting me to speak at the NCAIA event, which is and talk about U.S.-India relationship. It's important for us as a nation and as an American that we work with India, because those are the values that binds us together: the democracy, the diversity. What we both nations believe in: freedom of press, freedom of faith, freedom of religion. Those are the things that we believe in it, and I'm a bullish on the U.S.-India relationship, and I think it's going to flourish in all the areas: the terrorism, the extremism. We have to remove the extremism. That's the wrong thing to do. What the people do in terms of the extremism, and also the Afghanistan and also the defense, as well as the clean energy, the clean powers, and so many things. So many areas that we can work together with the United States, and I hope that our two nations can take the relationship to the next height.
I have been highly impressed with your achievement. You started with one employee yourself, with Frank Islam Investment Corporation. It became over 2,000 employees with $400 million revenue. How did you accomplish that?
Okay, so first of all, the company that I founded was a QSS Group Incorporated, and after I sold it, and then I started FI Investment Group. It's also known as FIIG. Let me say this: I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, willing to take a risk and venture into the new horizon and experiment new environment. I always wanted to be a business owner, but in order to become an entrepreneur, a business owner, I needed education, which I got from the University of Colorado in Boulder. I got my bachelor's degree and master's degree, and that gave me the real not the real experience, but I needed the real experience in order for me to start the business of being an entrepreneur. So I worked for 2 information technology companies to gain the experience, what I call a world grounding experience, so that I can start my business. So in 1994, my wife and I, mortgaged our house and borrowed $45,000 from Riggs National Bank, which doesn't exist anymore, to buy this company called QSS Group Incorporated with 1 employee, which was me.
1994.
1994. And with me and along with my management team, we were able to grow that company from 1 employee to 3,000 employees and to revenue, as you said, several $100 million. So team of talented managers are central to everything. I would also say success in business is a team sport. So it's not we who made it happen. Your question with regard to what made me successful, well, it made me successful several things. Number 1 is getting education, which I will say to people in the audience that you got to get a good education. Second thing, being willing to take a risk. Third thing is becoming an entrepreneur. And the fourth thing I will say, surround yourself with the talented managers who share your vision and value. Give them the oxygen to breathe, and they will do the wonders. And then 2007, I believe, I sold it to Ross Perot, which is a Perot Systems Corporation. They gave me the financial independence to start this foundation, Frank Islam and Debbie Dressman Foundation. We mentioned that the foundation focuses on that thing. I will say that the giving money and making other people successful is much more rewarding than any money I have made in my lifetime. And I'm reminded and guided by the words of President Kennedy, who said, "To whom much is given, much is expected." To me, I'm a philanthropist. I want other people to succeed. I want enable the other people, not giving them hands up, not a handout. That's
Can
what I
you
believe.
share with our viewers? I know you have got over 100 institutions that you have supported. Give us a little brief overview of educational institution, business institution, art and humanities, as well as philanthropic institution.
So, first of all, we support the educations, the arts and cultures, and other institutions, as you mentioned, and because that's what our foundation focuses on. So education area that we focus on. In the United States, we have given, I would say that we have given is the right word, we have contributed. We made investment that we believe will yield exponential returns to universities in the United States, Marymount University and the American University, University of Maryland, George Mason University, and
George Hopkins also.
George Hopkins, SAIS, and also Carey School of Business, where I'm on the board as well.
Besides, you also have involvement with Malaysian, Afghanistan.
I'm also a member of the board of trustees at American University in Afghanistan, which we have contributed as well, and also the university in Malaysia, and also an American University in Dubai, where I'm a member of the board of trustees, which is called in UAE as well. So education, as I said to you, is a gift that keeps on giving. It creates the next generations, and it propels the individuals, moves the nation forward. And I think you wanted me to talk a little bit about the contribution that we made to Aligarh Muslim University. So Aligarh Muslim University contribution that we made was a $2.15 or $2.2 million to build Frank and Debbie Islam School of Management complex. So when I went to inaugurate the building, it's a beautiful building. I said the construction is done, now the constructing can begin. I also said that it's not the building of a building, it's the building of a foundation that will stand the test of the time. I also said to the students, if you conceive it, if you believe it, you can achieve it. And I want them to know that they can realize the dream as well, just like I have. I also said which I think is important to me, that institution will be educational empowerment zone. And I also said in my speech when I went there not for the foundation of the building, for the inaugurations of the building, that from this complex will come out the future leaders who will go out not only to India but around the world to make a difference, to make a meaningful difference and a positive difference in people's life. And I also said the Aligarh Muslim University had a storied past, and these leaders will write the story of the future. As far as the art is concerned, I mentioned the Kennedy Centers and the several other institutions.
Strathmore.
Strathmore, and my wife also, my wife is into the, also the board member of the National Symphony Orchestra, board member of the Washington Performing Arts, board member of the Shakespeare Theater. So we are very much involved with the art, and I've already mentioned that the art is an important part of what we believe in it. The third area that we focus on, the peace and conflict resolution, that's the reason that we have supported and contributed a significant amount of money to U.S. Institute of Peace. So those are areas that we continue to focus on, and helping other people to succeed. And as I said, and I will continue to say, when they succeed, all of us succeed. America succeed, India succeed, and the world succeed.
Even the local college like Montgomery College.
Yes, I do
You
have.
been
I
very
have
active
we have
in
a
supporting
supporter
the-
Montgomery College. There's a symposium named after us, and they bring in scholars and the people who can talk about the recent topics and so on and so forth. They do. Yes. Thank you.
Now, tell us, what are the future programs you have got planned?
Well, I don't have the crystal ball, but I will continue to do what I'm doing, to continue to be engaged and involved with the community, and also to help help people, and so that they become successful. I'm also politically very much engaged in it, and as you know, that I was very much part of the Hillary Clinton's campaign. Unfortunately, she did not win. So I will continue to be engaged with my foundations. I'll continue to write my columns in Huffington Post, and I also write columns in
You have
India.
a blog.
Yeah, I do have a blog, columns are blog.
Can you tell us a little more about that? Because it's
So
very fascinating. I have read many of your blogs. They are mind-boggling.
Well, I hope it has the same effect and impact, influence as it has on you. So I write in the United States, I write the Huffington Post blog on politics and the current activities, and I just wrote on the middle class, why there's income inequality and justice in America. Before that, we wrote something about the immigrations, and before that, we wrote something about the travel ban. I also have a columns I write every month in India in coordination and conjunction with IANS, which is the second wire service in India, and that goes to the hundreds of newspapers in India, English, Hindi, and Urdu media, and those columns are mostly focused on education that I did, inclusive India, and also we talk about the art and culture. Now the next column that will come out will be the freedom of press and the freedom of expression, which is important. In some cases, some journalists have been killed in India because what they believe in it, and that to me does not represent the character and conscience and the value of India that has always been a beacon of democracy and the diversity, and also freedom of press is important to them. This is how the democracy flourishes. And I will continue to do so. And also I give a lot of speeches, as you know, and the speeches also varied on several topics. I'm giving a speech on philanthropy I call the power of purposeful philanthropy at the India diaspora on Saturday at 1 o'clock. So I'll continue to do those kind of things to serve our country and our community as we move forward.
Recently, you made some very, very constructive comments on the Indian Supreme Court ruling on the divorce among Indian Muslim women called talaq. And you were very much appreciated, praised by many women, although you also came under criticism for your views. Could you share your views on that? Because it's so important.
It is. So Dr. Banik, it's called triple talaq. And I'm a Muslim, and I came from India, so I'm Indian Muslims, and Indian American Muslims. I said that the perspective and the views that the people who have about triple talaq, they can divorce their wife by saying it 3 times. They're desperate and distorted. I would and also the Indian Muslim woman should not be demonized, and it turns out that the people who are in the favor of triple talaq, saying that the divorce rate is very low in Indian Muslims, which is probably true, but our own analysis shows that this is not about the divorce rate. This is about what right a man has to say those deplorable words by saying 3 times in divorcing, and that woman is the child. She's the mother of that child that both of them share, a man and a woman. So I applaud the Supreme Court justice what they have done, and I think that I would hope that the government working in conjunction, the central government working in conjunction with the state government, enforce this law to make sure that the Muslim woman, Indian Muslim women, are protected. And what we need to focus on is to how to empower them, Indian Muslim women, by education, so they can earn a living, so they can part of the 21st century workforce, so they can determine their own destiny, rather than focusing on something to me is demeaning, demonizing, deplorable, and moralizing.
In this context, I want to compliment your life partner, David Dreisman. You and her jointly have Frank Islam David Dreisman Philanthropic Foundation. You have been a wonderful example of how 2 different cultures can work together in harmony. So what is your secret of having this chemistry between you and our dearest friend David Dreisman?
So my wife Debbie, we have been married for a long time, for 30 years, so we hopefully we gotten to know each other. Share a common vision and values, helping others, and art and culture and education, and she also helps and supports her family so that the kids can go to school just like I do. So we have a shared goal. I would hope we have a shared responsibility and shared sacrifices. We believe in the common goals and a common cause. So we're linked by a common cause, common commitment, and a common belief. That's the best way to describe it. She's a wonderful woman, and yes, we are from. My wife is a Dutch. Her parents came from Holland, so we were able to work together because we believe in the in terms of the educations and arts and cultures and so on and so forth. So. And I'm fortunate to have her, and so she's also a lifelong learner in terms of belief in education, just like I do. So so it was worked out pretty good, and I hope it'll continue the path forward. We're stronger together, and together we can help shape a better future. I hope so.
Well, we have got few minutes left. If you can summarize what the next generation, younger generation, should do to improve the quality of lives of women in general, and also lives of all of us, because we are living in a democratic country, and democracy is very important. I know you have been a champion of democracy, freedom of speech, freedom of press. So I want you to summarize that.
So in order, what you just said, I wanted to tell the younger people that they have several things. Number one is be the best you can be. Get a good education, be a lifelong learner, learn everything new every day, and exploit your fullest potential. And when you're successful, help others to succeed. I will also tell them that no hope should be high enough, no dream should be large enough for them to achieve. They can make impossible as possible. I also tell them that aim high, work hard, and pursue your dream.
Well, it is an honor for me this morning to spend some quality time with you. You are wonderful. I learned a lot. Thank you
very much,
Dr. Islam, for your time and effort to educate us.
Thank you.
Thank you.